the visit of the Lord accompanied by 2 angels. The Lord was in the middle of the 2 angels. The messenger Gabriel said, even the fact that the Lord is in our middle, it is a mystery and message. When angelic visit began and I saw them for the first time, they reveal mystery. It was a divine encounter, and when the encounter ended they told me, for today it is over until the next appointment. My visitor operated beyond the compartment of time, and they don't use the term tomorrow but rather the next appointment. Even after they have left me, on that day whenever I thought about them I saw them standing before me. I asked them, "Are you always standing like that? Are you not tired?" They told me, "We can remain standing here for 40 years as long as our mission is not fulfilled. We are not limited by time or matter," for they were entering in the wall and coming out, and they told me, "You see that matter does not stop us." Michael and Gabriel were able to take me back to ancient times, where I was able to see Moses. I came to understand that angels had deep and extreme knowledge of the Bible. When they began to do demonstration of revelation, I began to love personal Bible studies more. These divine encounter did not leave me the same, for I was soaked in such divine presence that is even affecting me today. And every time I talk about divine encounter, Michael and Gabriel are always there. Gabriel and the Michael presented themselves to me as God messenger, because they had God message. Each one of them have been entrusted with a particular message. They told me, "We have been created, each with his particularity and particular message." Michael said to me, "My impact is hidden in my name, and I come together with the Lord in order to transmit what is in me." Gabriel said, "I will begin with my name and my message. My name that the Almighty gave me is Gabriel, which mean the strength of the Lord, and I work in the area of revelation. When you sleep I am the one who give you message. When you speak of Christianity you must understand that the strength of Christianity is revelation. My name is my message, for I am the strength of the Lord. The strengthening of a messenger is his message." Then Michael told me, "My name is my message. I am the presence of God. My name means the presence of God. I work in the field of spiritual warfare. I will talk to you about the realities of spiritual warfare. I was ordered by the Almighty to confront Lucifer, and I am the leader of angels who had cast him out of heaven. I know Lucifer, and I will tell you a lot of mystery about him, and I will tell you many secret about spiritual warfare." Then the messenger Gabriel stepped back, in order to indicate that we are going back to the past, for the 2 angels were able to transport me to the past. Gabriel told me, "What Michael and I are, and what we do as task, has been illustrated in ancient times long before your time. What we do is revelation and spiritual warfare." I, Gabriel, was represented by Elijah, and Michael was illustrated in the life of Moses. Elijah played the role of a revelator, for he had a prophetic vocation, and was animated by my spirit. But when Moses was called, he was given the law, which is the presence of the Lord. Then Michael told me, "You can see that the church see things differently. In truth the messenger Gabriel is given the strength of God, which is revelation, and the warrior that I am, I was given the law, which is the presence of the Lord. On the day of the rapture it will be me that will prepare the church." Michael spoke with authority and power, but Gabriel spoke with tenderness. Michael told me, "Understand that the secret of spiritual warfare is the law of God." Moses, who illustrated my ministry on earth, when he had received the law of God he had actually received God presence, and my role of liberating God people was illustrated by him when he was mandated to free the children of Israel in Egypt. Moses was a liberator because I am the liberator of God people. When God people are bound in chain, I intervene as the liberator. Thanks to the law of God, which is his presence, Moses could face Pharaohs. I am the presence of God. I was supposed to apply a method during the war in heaven, so that Lucifer would be defeated without physical altercation. Otherwise heaven will be soiled, and the method that gave me victory against Lucifer was God law, which is God presence. Remember I told you my name means the presence of God. Remember that the presence of God is the law of God. That is why when Shiloh, your father who is our master, came to earth, the devil who is our enemy and your enemy came to tempt him, and the method that our master who is your father apply in order to fend him off was "It is written." The master said "It is written" 3 times. As a result the enemy left him. This is an example of a victory without combat. Our master who is your father had used the law of God that he was quoting, and he overcame the enemy. because the law of God is the presence of God. Victory is in the law of God that you call the Scripture. In order to cast out Lucifer and his angels from heaven we needed three things. The first one was the method. But why was a method needed? Simply because we are dealing with Lucifer. Since we were dealing with Lucifer we needed a method of waging war without battle and fighting. This is because the celestial world is sacred. Since heaven is holy it could not have a reference and history of confrontation. Since the kingdom of heaven is holy and since we are holy we could not have an exchange of kicks, and we could not use our swords against rebel angels, for fear that the kingdom of heaven become soiled by our confrontation. Therefore when it come to dealing with a creature such as Lucifer we needed a method. In order to cast out Lucifer first I had to change his profile. It is the appropriate method for such enemy. Indeed Lucifer was a chief angel, an archangel and a cherubim and a protector. However since Lucifer has given birth in his heart evil thought and pride, I was instructed by the Almighty to redefine him by changing his profile. I was ordered by God to change his nature. Understand that a creature of such stature, who was a cherubim protector, knew all the code, all the mysteries and all the protocol, and he had all the means and all the arsenal at his disposal to resist his expulsion from heaven. He was among the great leader of angel. His profile was so big that I was ordered to change him. This is in order to rid him of many of his capacity and ability. This will serve you as an example in spiritual warfare. Learn that when Lucifer began to generate inconsistent thoughts in his heart, this brought about his decadence. As a result he went lower from where he used to be positioned in the realm of revelation. The first decadence of Lucifer came when he thought inconsistent thought. As a result he lost revelation, and when pride was found in his heart I received order from the Lord to turn him from a morning star to a dragon. And when I stood before Lucifer the morning star to confront him, I looked at him, and I told him, Lucifer, you are no longer one of us. And you are no longer like us. You are not a protective cherubim anymore. These words caused Lucifer decadence and he was disqualified automatically, and the change of profile began to happen. Lucifer began to contemplate the change happening to him and was looking at me, for he used to be light, but darkness that was covering him was unknown to him. I was turning him to a dragon through the law of creation in order to cast him out of heaven, and he found out that he had become a dragon, who is supposed to be among reptiles for his place was with them on planet Earth. He was going through change that he did not understand because I was changing his profile, and when he became a demon he was covered by darkness that initially he did not want. He turned ugly, for the law of creation say that reptiles are supposed to creep the earth, not heaven, for the law of creation determined the dwelling of reptile on the earth. It is the application of this law of creation that brought him out of heaven. Don't be fooled by animation designer who illustrated the war in heaven, because I could not touch the dragon and serpent for he was already soiled. When the change of profile happened he ceased to be Lucifer the light bearer because the light that was flowing from him turned to darkness. He lost his angelic status for he was no longer an angel. That is why the Bible say he turned to an angel of light because he is no longer an angel. He was no longer a cherubim. Once Lucifer became a dragon, the ancient snake. He was a reptile whose habitation was not heaven but earth. Brother, remember when I met the angels for the first time I was struck by the light that was flowing from them and they seems like incandescent bulb that shone. The bearer of light and perfection was striped of light and he has nothing in his hand. Holy war is about defining and determining the enemy. When I went to war against Lucifer, first I define him and turn him to a dragon because of his rebellion. I had to use the law of the Creator, which is the law of creation, for the Creator has ordered me telling me to apply the law, and the law of the creation say reptiles creep the land. The light bearer was changed from Lucifer to the dragon. I did not fight Lucifer as the light bearer, but I fought the dragon, the old serpent that is seducing the whole world. Had I fought him in his profile of Lucifer he would have resisted me, and the heaven would have been divided for he would have stayed in heaven. First and foremost his profile had to change so that he would become something else than Lucifer, so that he would no longer be one of us. I was fighting a dragon, not Lucifer, for he had become a reptile. Understand that a dragon is a reptile. He had claws and tail of serpent, but don't fear the fire that come out of the mouth of the dragon. It is legend that gave the dragon notoriety. but in reality he has no power. The light bearer could not keep the light. The bearer of light was deprived of light and he was to join reptiles on the earth. He lost his state. The dragon is just a reptile. Don't trust many legend of fire-breathing dragon because he is just a reptile. Thus in order to defeat Lucifer, the chief angel Michael spoke the word, telling him, you are not like us, you have ceased to be a cherubim. And that's all he had to do, just to speak the word. This is the biggest secret of spiritual warfare. Your Father who is our Master said you are the light of the world. You must proclaim and declare that you are the light, which is a weapon against him. You must declare you are the light of the world. You must say, wherever there is darkness and work of darkness, let darkness flee from my presence, which is light. Let my light dissipate the darkness, because darkness cannot bear the light which is me. For in this sacred war we don't fight darkness, simply because darkness cannot stand us. As we are light, darkness will flee from our light, but sin remove our light. In spiritual warfare the believer is required to define and qualify the enemy using the law of creation. The enemy will become what you say he is, for what you declare about the enemy is what he will be turned to. The angel of war Michael said to me, you were created to dominate because you are created in God's image, after his likeness, in order to have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. We gave Lucifer the profile of a dominated. You must proclaim the word and tell him, since you are a dragon and a serpent, you are just a beast of the field, you are beneath the image and likeness of God that I am. Say to him, beast of the field, I dominate you. In spiritual conflict put the devil in his place and say to him, you are just a reptile, a beast of the field, that is to be dominated by the image and likeness of God. You must confess and say, I am the image of God that is to dominate the fish of the sea, and the fowl of the air, and over the cattle and reptile that live on the field. I walk on serpent and scorpion and dragon that are beneath me. The believer must define the enemy and proclaim that the enemy is beneath him. He is no an angel, he is a reptile, a beast of the field. According to God law, every species has his dwelling place, and the dwelling place of reptiles and serpent is in the field. Once your light and brilliance increase, you will win the war without fighting, because your brilliance and light will defeat the enemy. The reptile who is the enemy will not stand your brilliance and your radiant light. The purpose of witches among Christians is to observe the believer until he fall in sin. And when a believer sins, that's when his radiance, light and brilliance is put out. When the believer light is put out because of sin, the witches will report him to the dragon. When the dragon see that your light has turned to darkness because of sin, that's when he come to destroy aspect of your life. Proclaim that you are light, for light dissipate darkness. The enemy is reptile who is condemned to walk on its belly. We must curse him.